Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's unseen video. This is where we take a look at all the social media news, rumors, and some of the funny things as well. There is so much in this episode. So much has happened in the past 24 hours. We need to get straight into it. We're going to start with the WWE folder. This is where we've got all our general bits. And a big thank you to Howdy LFC. Just letting me know about this from Corey, that Braun Strowman suffered a torn groin in the last Monster Stand-In match. It's a tough blow, and honestly, this has got people wondering what that means for him going forwards. Don't know how long this is going to keep him out of action for. Might not keep him out of action that long, but if you've tore your groin, I've got to think that's going to need time to repair, and I'm not sure how long that's going to be because I don't know how bad the tear is. So is this going to affect things with the Wyatt 6? They clearly have been sending messages to him, and if he's going to be out for the next 2-3 months, maybe even longer, then where does that leave us? Where does that leave us with the whole Wyatt 6 situation? So I think the future for Braun was a little bit confusing because clearly we know that Bronson and Seth are about to go into a feud, but I wasn't very clear as to what the future was going to hold for Braun. Seems like injury has now struck, but again, at this point we have to stress we don't know how serious that injury is, so something to keep an eye on. Talking about that match as well, so Mark, shout out to you. Wrestle Purists are saying that WWE were reportedly unhappy with how the ring broke and looked on Raw. And it is true because the two ring posts came in. The ring sort of did move a bit, but it didn't like fully collapse. It still looks a lot like a ring would. So it wasn't as spectacular as ring collapses in the past, and it seems like that is what they were going for, and it didn't quite come off. So apparently they weren't happy, and let's just say it didn't go as planned. So yeah, very interesting, that. Very interesting. Samir, shout out to you, said, here's something I found that might be interesting. Now, I struggle with this because I don't play 2K24 or any of the 2K wrestling games, so I don't know quite what this means, but they've got live events coming up in October, right? So if we do this and do this, so they've got in October 7th all the way through October, they've got Toying with Cena. I've got to think that's something to do with like Cena being an action figure in the game. But how is that a live event? I don't really know what that means. October live events. So they're doing something between 2K and Mattel. I wonder if it's kind of like buy a figure of Cena and then you can unlock that version of him in the game as an action figure, because they have been putting kind of action figure models into the video game. So I'm guessing, could it be something like that? Then we've got this one here, which is Rhea Ripley Birthday Bash. That is October 11th to October 14th. Runs for 3 days, and it's a birthday bash. Again, does that mean they're working with Rhea? Is she going to send some tweets out? Is it her birthday at this point? In fact, I can double check that. When is Rhea Ripley's birthday? Rhea Ripley was born on the 11th of October in 1996. So October 11th is her birthday. Whatever they're doing is going to run for 3 days. So something to keep an eye on there. Little Brother runs from October 14th all the way through to November 3rd. Little Brother. No idea. Then we've got this one, which is Beside Himself, and that clearly is CM Punk. And that runs from October 19th to October 28th. So they're doing something with Punk in the game. Then we've got Consequences, which is October 21st all the way through to November 2nd. And then we've got Yeet Break, which is October 28th all the way through to November 3rd, right? So if we go over here, this person said these could be glimpses in real storylines. I don't think they are. Little Brother could hint at Jimmy's return. Yeet Break hints at Jay reuniting with the OG bloodline. Consequences could refer to Wyatt 6. What I would say is there is something being teased for the Wyatts and the game. So that could be connected. But I don't think this connects with real life storylines. I've said this before and I can't stress it enough. I really, really don't think WWE let all their partners know about storylines. There's just way too many plans that change. There's too many people that would then have knowledge that could get leaked. Like, it is really on a need-to-know basis when it comes to creative. I don't even think they tell people who to put on posters and whatnot. Posters have shown themselves time and time again to not contain spoilers or Easter eggs or stuff like that. Sometimes, you know, I'm thinking like when Bray returned, there was definitely stuff in the poster for Extreme Rules, but I would say that's an exceptional circumstance. You know, Bray returning is exceptional rather than it being standard practice, right? So I don't believe this is connected with storylines, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because people are talking about it. And I got tagged in it. So, Samir, shout out to you, my friends. Right, Royal Rumble. Christopher tagging me in this. This from WrestleVotes. They're saying Roman Reigns is rumored to be a participant in the 2025 Royal Rumble. How amazing is that? Imagine the clock counting down and out steps Roman Reigns. And that'll be the 10-year anniversary of him winning in 2015, which was an absolute disaster. People were so desperate for it to be Daniel Bryan. That's when The Rock got in the ring and like the crowd were booing the both of them. Like The Rock, one of the biggest stars, coming down. You'd expect him to get monster cheers. But he got in the ring, he held up Roman's arm, and they both just got booed out the building. People made it very clear they wanted Daniel Bryan. They did not want Roman Reigns. So yeah, this is kind of fun for him to be in. Could he win it? He absolutely could. I don't think he does though, because he doesn't need to win it. I don't think that him going after a world title at WrestleMania is the direction that we're going in, but interesting. Wrestle Knight said, whoa, this is a great catch. So Daddy Dom Mysterio updates, and I have seen this on TikTok as well. So I don't think I'm not sure if everyone's being given their flowers here. I don't know who spotted this first, but Finn, best friends become strangers. JD McDonagh looks at Liv a kind of way, right? So he is looking at Liv there and avoids Dom's hug. Is there something here? So let's do this right here. Look, he's looking at Liv. She looks back at him, right? Little nod there from JD McDonagh. Don't know what that means, right? Don't know if it's just a nod of respect. That in isolation wouldn't interest me, right? This does interest me a little bit more, though. So here we've got them victorious, and you can see Liv clinging on to Dom with his arms up, going to hug JD, clearly heading in that direction, right? Arms up, going to put his arms around him. He turns away, right? Avoids the hug. That you can see his arm on his head. He avoids it, though. Gets out the way and actually seems to turn and want to hug Finn instead. There could absolutely be nothing here, right? 100% there could be nothing here. But it is interesting. I'd say the first one on its own, that I wouldn't read anything into that personally. This hug, avoiding this hug is interesting. Look, and then like he does sort of like he acknowledges the hug is coming, and then he turns away from it. Why? Don't know. Is there something there? Was it all just was it an awkward moment? Might be something. Might be nothing. This is the kind of thing I want to bring you, though. So there we go, Wrestle Night. Thank you. LA Knight due for a big push and a new feud, says Nick Butcher, Kim Strains on YouTube. So here, look, we've got LA Knight. He is apparently going to feuds, or there are plans in place soon for him to feuds with Randy Orton. Now, that's really interesting because Orton's a face, LA Knight is a face. So that's interesting. Are we going to do a face versus face feuds? Which we absolutely can. There's no problem with doing that. It's just you do split the crowd. Not everyone will be behind LA Knight in that feud, and not everyone will be behind Randy. You got some die-hard LA Knight fans that are going to ride with LA Knight regardless of who he faces. So yeah, that's an interesting one. That coming from WrestleVotes as well. It wasn't something they posted. I believe it was like something they spoke about on their podcast or radio show. So interesting, very interesting. Don't know if it'll go that way still, but something to keep an eye on. Dave, shout out to you. WWE have released a brand new Roman Reigns OTC shirt. There it is. I like it. It's got Roman on it there. It's got OTC down the sides. I think it's a good looking shirt. Nice. And yeah, so we've got a moment here where Logan turns around to Mr. Beast, who's on his show, and says, was you going to do something with WWE? And Mr. Beast's response was, whoa, spoiler, kind of suggesting that something's brewing, something's happening, it's still in the works. So I don't know, this ain't the direction I personally want to go. I'm not looking for, you know, more YouTubers coming over, Logan and Jake and Mr. Beast and KSI and Spit, but I know that the younger audience out there really enjoy that. So it's one of those, isn't it? It's not for me, it's probably not for many of you, but there is part of the fan base that really enjoys these YouTubers coming over, these, you know, social media personalities being involved. So keep your eyes peeled for something to do with Mr. Beast. So Spartan, shout out to you, my friends. And you got to say, from a business point of view, it does make the most sense. WWE working with the biggest YouTuber. Like, it does make sense. Right, that was WWE. Let's just have a quick look at the Wyatts, and there's not loads in here. So, Master Taker, shout out to you. So, Jeff said this on Conan's podcast, apparently. So, one of my favorite backstage moments was when me, Matt, and Bray met up. And it was around when they were starting teaming. I remember around that time, there was a moment when I was sitting with Bray, like on a bus during a tour or something. He said, I don't know. And I think he was talking about some Fiend stuff. Maybe we could bring Willow into WWE. He really wanted to bring Willow. So Jeff Hardy talking about how Bray was still thinking about the future, thinking about where he was. I think he knew that the team with Matt was not going to be forever. So it wouldn't shock me to find out he was thinking about what his next move was going to be once the Deleter of Worlds had come to an end, right? That tag team. And obviously we know after that we would then have him go away for a bit. He would return with the Firefly Funhouse. And the Fiend and all of that good stuff in 2019. But interesting here how apparently he was interested in bringing in Willow. Perhaps he wanted to bring Willow into this story, but with the Deleter of Worlds. But to be honest, I'm not sure where Jeff was at that point. I'm guessing he was in WWE. He said that he was speaking to him backstage, so I'm trying to remember where Jeff was. Was he in TNA? Was he in with WWE? I think he was at that point. So yeah, you know, we maybe could have done that. Interesting though. Never heard this story before. So Master Taker, thank you. B-Dog said, I watched your Wyatt 6 video and it got me thinking. In the video, you mentioned the word impressive. It was one of the names of one of the links. I don't know if this means anything, but that is the name of Indi Hartwell's entrance theme. Now, up until that bit there, I was like, okay, I don't really see a connection, right? But B-Dog makes a great point right at the end. Her entrance theme is called Impressive. she was married to Dexter Lumis in NXT. And it's true. That was a massive story in NXT. And we are looking at that being a feud in the future. I don't know how we're going to get there, but definitely confusion around Dexter Lumis still, because Dexter was married to Indi in storyline. Everything felt like it was going pretty well, and then he just went missing off TV, and now all of a sudden he's come back, he's different, he's broken, he was seemingly abandoned by his family. That sort of suggests that Indi abandoned him, Candice abandoned him, Johnny abandoned him, maybe Tommaso abandoned him. Like DIY, Candice, Indi, maybe Theory if he's going to turn face and join up with all of them again. They could be future targets. I don't think that Impressive is kind of connected to Indi, to be honest. I like the connection, but I don't think that's what it's referring to. I don't think that they're on the radar at the moment because their faces, or certainly Johnny and Tommaso are. But if we get Alexa in at some point, I absolutely expect Nikki and Alexa to team up and take on Indi and Candice. 100%. No doubt in my mind. And plenty of material for them to dig into if we do go down that road because of Dexter and his relationship, his failed marriage now seemingly to Indi Hartwell. So, yeah, I just thought there was a lot to unpack there. So, B-Dog, shout out to you. And do you remember earlier we said that something's being teased by WWE 2K? Well, a couple of days ago they put this out with the red circle, and now we've got this with the date as well. Wrestle Knight said, I'm guessing that's supposed to represent Bray's rocking chair. And I have been shown what's the status, who's all over the video game, has found in the code that something's dropping to do with Uncle Howdy. So you won't be surprised to find the expectation is on the 16th of October, Wyatt 6, or certainly at the very least Uncle Howdy, expected to be coming into the game. So there we go. 16th of October, around about 2 weeks' time, we are expecting some Wyatt 6 stuff with the video game. So there we go. That was the Wyatt folder. As I said, not loads in there. Let's go over to Cody, because there's a couple of bits in here. So he was on the Pat show, right? And Mark, thank you. Cody has confirmed that a video package is going to play at Bad Blood this weekend. It's going to have big title implications for Crown Jewel. I really don't know what that means. I mean, I think he'll defend the title. I don't know if it'll be against Solo again, or this time if Jacob gets the opportunity. I'm guessing Solo will be the opponent again, right? That's my guess. But he's saying that there's going to be a video. How are we going to set up a title match with a video package? Very interested in that, but seems like Bad Blood just got a little bit more intriguing. It's going to set up Crown Jewel. Cody confirmed main event for Mania 41 is bigger than ever, right? I have the actual quote as well here, so we'll get to that. So Christopher, shout out to you. And this was teased as well. The Rock returning at Bad Blood would be absolutely insane. The reason why this was teased was because I believe it was the end of the interview, and Pat went up to Cody and went, is the big guy returning this weekend? Cody's reaction was, which one? Like, a bit confused, like, I don't know, you tell me which one. And Pat was like, that's all I need to know. So, I don't know. I mean, I can understand why people think The Rock, right? I totally get it. I think there is quite a few big guys that they might be referring to. I don't know if this is something that was a tease that was put out there on purpose, because it was filmed, or if it was just a moment that was captured and then, you know, kind of got out. Because it was after the interview. The interview was done. So, I don't know. I'm a bit confused by it all. I mean, is there a chance we see The Rock this weekend? Sure. Sure, there is. Yes. but I don't know that it's guaranteed. So definitely a little tease. Is the big guy going to be there? Cody's reaction wasn't yes. Cody's reaction was, you tell me which one. And Pat was like, that's all I need to know. But I don't know. It's one of those. It could be something. It could be nothing. We'll have to wait and see, right? I ain't getting carried away with it. Let's put it that way, right? I'm certainly not sat here going, oh my God, The Rock's coming back. I mean, it was a bit of a throwaway moment to me, so I think people are just getting a little bit too overexcited with it, but it could be some, might be nothing. JDS said, looks like someone big is back at Bad Bloods. I'm guessing The Rock. That would be my gut feeling. But I like this from JDS because there's like a fingers crossed emoji. And I agree with you. I think that's where we are. It's kind of like, is it The Rock? Is it not The Rock? Who's this big guy that's on his way back or their way back? In my mind, though, you know, we could be talking about quite a few people. Could be talking about someone backstage. You know, I just don't know. Could be talking about Ari Emanuel. He is the big guy. He is the guy in charge of the whole company. If he's not been around and he's not been to the shows, but he is expected to be there for Bad Bloods, then they could be talking about him. So, I don't know. Again, it's one of those. I think there's a chance we see The Rock, though. I definitely think there's a chance. Sportskeeda, just talking about the spoiler. It's not on the line this weekend, but there is something that happens at Bad Blood. I guess a video package or a vignette. Now, that would make more sense, wouldn't it? A vignette. That's where you do like a sit-down promo, right? So that makes a lot more sense. That's going to play in the show. I've got to keep it vague, but there are big title implications for Crown Jewel moving past Bad Bloods. So a little spoiler there. That coming from Cody Rhodes. WrestleMania 41, I'm looking to do what I've done 3 times now. Enter the main event. But I think it will be something that perhaps is bigger than anyone anticipated. So the rumor on that is that it's going to be The Rock. So The Rock and Cody, obviously we saw the fallout of WrestleMania 40 with The Rock handing something back. We believe that is setting up this match between them. And yeah, there we go. Done. I mean, I'm under the impression it's going to be that, to be honest. So that was the all the Cody stuff that I saw. So NXT is where we're going to go now. So Triple H said, it was a very special night in Chicago. I'm always inspired whenever I'm around. The talent, the work ethic, the desire to be the best was evident. Right? I'm going to take the sound off. Shawn Michaels and his crew put on an excellent show. I can't wait to see what's next. So there he is, look, watching the show. And there he is with Zachary. We saw him just with Roxanne. I actually don't know who that is, you know. I can't quite tell who that is. I know who that is. Obafemi. Look at the size difference. Look at that. Kind of looks like they're about to throw down. But there he is with Lola Vice as well. It's only when you see him chatting to all these different talents that you realize just how stacked NXT is. Roxanne, Lola, Trick, Ethan, Obafemi. He could have been talking to Tony. Obviously, there's Zachary. I mean, I'd imagine that was a very touching moment. He was there, I believe, when Triple H was in charge, and we had MSK, and we know the fallout of everything. So, yeah, fascinating to see that. Right, CM Punk really outdid me in the gifts department. He brought pizza for all of Allstate Arena last night. I can't imagine that pizza bill. That's a baby face, and it should challenge everyone else, myself included. That was a very nice gesture of CM Punk to do it. He set the bar high, which is funny because he does not take credit for it. He says, you know, there's free pizza from us. We pointed this out in the last Unseen. He doesn't take full credit for the pizza thing. He changes it from me to us. So I don't know who bought it. I definitely feel like he contributed, and maybe he paid for all of it. I don't know. But Cody talking about that moment during the interview today. Wrestle Night, shout out to you. So here was a picture of Roxanne gloating that she's still champ to CM Punk. And of course, we have a few comments. Here's Roxanne. Told you Chicago was going to be my town, CM Punk. Tuesday Night Rocks and forever. CM Punk responded, I'm hurt, I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with children. Perfect. Trenton, shout out to you. Shawn Michaels revealing that 895,000 viewers tuned into NXT's debut on CW. Our best numbers in a year. Great start. See you in St. Louis. So, yeah, great result. I said anything in the 800,000 range would be a big success. I expect their numbers to be similar to what they got on USA Network. A lot of people struggling to find the show, is what I was told. And in all fairness, there was a lot on our stream that definitely suggested they were struggling, but it has not impacted the numbers, or maybe it would have been even better. Perhaps they would have got into the 900,000 range, but hopefully people can find it, get settled into it. I expect that to drop, obviously, next week. But we do have Bianca. We do have Jade. We do have Randy Orton in action. We do have title matches. I think it'll drop, but I don't know that it's going to go down to the 600,000. My guess would be 790, something like that, 780, something like that for next week. Randy is a draw, definitely. Bianca, Jade, I'd imagine they'll bring in viewers as well. So, great start. Great start. Although my opinion with ratings, I've made clear on live streams. I think too much gets talked about with ratings. It's kind of like when a rating comes out, it's either the greatest thing that's ever happened or it's the worst thing in the world, and that's just not true. I kind of feel like you're going to have good weeks. You're going to have bad weeks. What's more important is the patterns. What's more important is, you know, if you're having a good week, can you do it again, right? So what I would say about this is brilliant result, but it's the premiere, and I don't expect it to stay there. I expect it to drop. When it does drop, it's not the end of the world. I expect it to drop, right? So for me, this is good. You take the dub, but you don't get carried away. You don't like, this isn't mass celebration. Oh my God, we're entering a whole new era. This is lovely number. Let's see what next week looks like. But equally, if this was 500,000, well then how do we pick it up? You know, it's not end of the world. It would be a bad number, but like, okay, well, how do we make it better? I do think too much gets put in ratings. I really do. It's all, we live in such a reactionary world. It's either like the greatest thing in the world or it is an absolute disaster. But listen, that's because of the fact that everyone's after engagement now, and so you can't be level-headed in 2024. Everything's got to have big reaction attached to it. Wrestle Night, shout out to you, tagging me in this. So I don't know if this was real. I don't know where this has come from. That's clearly Grayson dressed as Kurt Cobain, and I'm guessing this is Theory dressed as a Power Ranger. They're taking the mick out of Fraxiom, and Fraxiom have quite rightly pointed out, if you think this is an insult, then you need to improve your insults. Like, imagine thinking this is some sort of a diss. Like, what an amazing tag team this would have actually been. So, there we go. Right, Zachary said, the names on my gear, it's my family. It's Gigi's family. It's our pets. My amazing fiance Gigi made these wonderful pants and my entrance jacket. So if you wondered what these were, it's their families, basically. So Kelsey, well done, well spotted. Gigi making this gear for Zachary. And then we got this. So here, look, we've got Trick being interviewed. CM Punk comes in with pizza and says, I know you said you've never had deep dish, so here we go. I want you to try it. And look at his face. He's thrilled. Oh, let's go. My dog. We're going to get a live review right now.
If you want to give it. Illuminati. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Let's see what we're talking about. Deep dish. Scrumptious.
Oh, there you go.
Scrumptious.
The NXT champion says it's scrumptious.
Scrumptious. That's the live review. So, Adam, shout out to you. That is CM Punk bringing some pizza to Trick Williams. Right, fun. I don't think there's loads. Oh, I haven't even watched this. So I'm quite interested in this. So what is something you have bad blood with?
What is one thing that you have bad blood with?
I got bad blood with my sleep schedule. I don't know how to sleep. I don't sleep. I just stay awake. I get gains, and that's it. Lay awake, thinking about life, contemplating life.
The social media team here. People like you. And always annoying me, asking me stupid questions. Get lost.
You know how we all took the same flight for the same amount of time, right? It was like a 3-hour flight. And then the little ding goes off and everyone shoots up out of their seat to grab their bags and try to leave. No. On the airplane, when that happens, we go in like a single file line of who's in front and then to the back. You wait your turn until everyone else on the airplane deboards before you, okay? Okay.
Anyone that wishes me a happy birthday in the month of October, and the reason being is I'm not 5, I'm a grown man.
Airplanes have no Wi-Fi. Oh.
Bruh, I'm from New York. If you're on the left lane and you're driving and somebody's right behind you, move over and let the person go. It's just common courtesy.
I love that. And you know, I agree with the Miz. I always find it strange if someone's like, oh, it's your birthday, happy birthday, and all this kind of stuff, or people like pointing out it's their birthdays. I get it when you're young, but I think when you reach a certain age, like 12, I don't get it anymore. I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah, I agree with the Miz there. I agree with who's a heel, which means I'm a heel. I was trying to follow what Liv was saying, and I was like, I don't really get it. I think she's had a lot of time to think about. she's the logistics of how you should disembark from an aeroplane is something I think Liv Morgan has really studied in depth there. So I thought that was brilliant. Gunther didn't. He wasn't a fan, but I thought it was brilliant. Right, Liv Morgan trying to beef with AJ now. So Fadeaway Media grabbing this. So CM Punk said, how's Liv going to have a proper plain etiquette, but has such bad taste in men? He must have seen what we just saw. This made no sense to me, right? But now it makes sense now that I've seen that video. How's Liv going to have proper plain etiquette, but have such bad taste in men? Dominik claps when planes land, right? Liv said, I could say the same thing about your wife, sir. So there we go. That's Liv responding. This clapping when planes land. I don't know. I'm really torn on that because when I was young, I did it. But obviously I was young. Don't do it now that I'm an adult. Sort of expect the plane to land now. But I've never seen an adult do it. I've been on planes to America and then flown back. I've never seen a plane land and an adult clap when it lands. I suppose it is unusual. I suppose that is unusual. It's such an interesting put down, isn't it? It's such a weird, specific, something I've never thought about before insult. I'm really interested in that. Do you clap when the plane lands? I did when I was young, when I went to America in the 90s. But that was like the first time I'd been on a plane. Yeah, that's really interesting. It's really interesting. Right, JD said this one made me laugh. So we've got all these Judgment Day pop vinyls, and there's just JD. Just JD, normal JD. Or at least I think it is. So M100 wrestling fan. Even JD. We follow each other as well. JD enjoyed that one, so very good. Word of Wrestling said, I think you'll love this old school clip. I think I will as well. So this is like a look of all the different kind of bedrooms throughout the ages. So here's Joey when he was 7. You got the old TV in the corner. You got Warrior poster. You got Hogan poster. Probably looking around 1990, 1991 kind of here. So can't really make loads out, but just a few little bits. Videotape on top of the TV. That brings back memories. Then we've got another one here. This is, what's this, like 10 years later? So we're probably looking 2000, 2001. Certainly Attitude Era. Stone Cold, Undertaker, D-Generation X shirt. Looks like pictures of The Rock over here. Maybe a Stone Cold cap. I do love looking at like this old, yeah, Shawn Michaels, the boyhood dream coming true. It's good. And then here, 27. So I think we've kind of jumped now to around 2010. I don't really know what era this is. I mean, I suppose we're kind of through Ruthless Aggression by this point. Going into like PG era. So is that like a bit of a spinner belt on the wall that he's got, is it? On the back, we've got Triple H. And then, yeah, this is bringing us to WrestleMania 30. There he is, age 37. Does that work? Does that work? I don't think that would. Oh, well, and this might be the modern day, mightn't it? But then why is he looking at WrestleMania 30? WrestleMania 30 was in 2014. Let's go back. So that's the network. Perhaps he isn't watching 30. Perhaps it was just trying to advertise the network. There's his kids. Yeah, and that's meant to represent more of like the modern day. So we go from him being 7 all the way through to him being 37. So we go through a period of 30 years. So this must be 90, 91, which means that when he's 37, it must be 2020, 2021. So that's the kind of journey that we've been on. Okay, I've only just spotted these like figures over here as well. There probably is loads actually. Is that a Macho Man? Oh my God. Macho Man poster on the wall. Love that. Love that poster. That's great. I'm trying to see if those are Hasbro's. I'm not getting it. I think they might be, but yeah, I love that. That's fascinating to me. I might be alone in that though. And then we had this, right? So TJF says this was from October 95, right? Sharpshooting into cyberspace. Brett leads the Federation into the computer age. I was really confused by this, and it made me wonder, when did WWE get their website, right? So we got Brett here, and so I went on the Wayback Machine, and it'll only go as far back as 97. But if you actually go all the way back to June 97, here is the WWE website, and it's under construction. So what was around in 95? It says here October 95. What did they have? If their website didn't like arrive until 97? So I'm confused by this. I don't know. I'm confused, but that is the WWF Magazine from October 95. That is the website from 1997. The Wayback Machine says June 97. It says, welcome to the World Wrestling Federation website. This site is currently under construction, but due to incredible demand, we are opening our doors early. This will allow you to get a feel for the site and also help us do some beta testing. There is much more to come. Isn't there just? Much more to come over the next few weeks. The one thing we need from you before entering is for you to fill in this form with some basic info to register as a beta tester. Thanks, beta tester. Thanks for your assistance and enjoy the site. I didn't actually type in. I don't know if that bit works, actually. So, I mean, what I'd say is if you use the Wayback Machine, some people might not know this, you can actually go back and look at sites how they used to be. And it's really interesting. And that's the furthest you can go back with WWE, WWF. I didn't try to see if I could do that, though. That might be something which might be fun. Putting in your information, then clicking. Might work, might not work. You might get a virus. I don't know. So, yeah, that was the fun folder. If we go to other and have a look. So, I think a lot of this... Oh, there's that thing. You can tell I loved that. A few bits in here. So here is Juicy Fatu, right? So first and foremost, I want to apologize for any emotional damage and distress I caused with the Journey angle. So do you remember we spoke about Journey Fatu going missing? Turns out it was an angle. Turns out it was all a story. We've been working on this story since early August. I mean, it's one of those. I think it was a bad move. I don't think they intended any harm. I think they were trying to, like, you know, get people's attention, and, well, it worked, but not the way you should really go about it. So, you know, I'm sure he's getting dragged for it, but it is what it is. No harm done. I'm just pleased Journey Fatu is absolutely fine. So, there we go. Done. So James, thank you. Wrestle Knight said, I don't know what to believe anymore. So Jonathan Coachman is saying, on Behind the Turnbuckle, another production company on a major network has reached out. They're doing another documentary on WWE. Apparently they reached out to Coach, right? And from a major network, apparently, so another documentary on the way. So interesting, something to keep an eye out for. Yeah, love this. I thought this was so good. Mattel, thank you. We actually whoosh over and go full screen. So these are the 10 tag teams with the most losses. Number 1, the Usos. I don't know if that surprises you or not. I mean, they have been around a long, long time. And the longer you're around, the more losses you are going to suffer. They've suffered 470. I tell you what, though, we go all the way up to the top of the list. So this from the Sportster. So Too Cool lost 157 matches. I can believe that, right? That does not shock me, right? There is one that does shock me, though. Fabulous Rougeos lost 162 times. I can believe that. A good team, though. Good team. APA lost 164 times. Again, they were competitive a lot. I can believe that. Demolition lost 170 times. That surprised me. They were booked very strong for a long time. So the fact that they lost 170 times, that surprised me. This one really surprised me. I would have had them higher. Really, throughout their whole run, they were jobbers. They were enhancement talent. They were constantly putting other teams over. The fact they only lost 197 times, which was only, 27 times more than Demolition. I was shocked by that. Love the Bushwhackers. One of my all-time favorite teams. Would have said that was a lot higher. Heart Foundation lost 240 times. That's a surprise. Dudley Boys 328 times. Not that surprised, to be honest. They were, wrestling a lot. And they won a lot, but they also lost a lot as well. Hardy Boys 341. Yeah, same as the Dudley Boys, to be honest. Same kind of vibe. New Day, same. They've been around 10 years. There's been ups, there's been downs. They've lost 343 times, which is a lot. But if you think over the space of 10 years. And then, of course, number 1. Again, it's the same situation, isn't it? That's a big number, though. That's a big number. If you think they've lost 343, they've lost 470. That's a big jump up, isn't it? That's a big jump. So there we go. The Usos have lost more tag matches than anyone else. Thought that was really interesting. We looked at that. Wrestle votes. So I think we've just got a load of AEW bits. So according to a source, AEW's new deal with Warner Brothers Discovery is closer to 185 million a year, not the previously reported 150. It's a good number. There's no two ways about it. 185 a year is a good number. So we've got this as well. WrestleNomics putting this out. This is an annotated history of the ratings for Dynamite, so you can see throughout the years where key things have happened. And honestly, it just cements what I've always thought, that Brawl Out was the turning point. Because I know that we have a peak here, and then it all kind of starts going down, and then it does pick back up again. But so you could argue that's their peak, and it's been nothing but downhill since then. But you can see quite a sizable increase here. And I think it's because of Brawl Out. That happens there. They were on the uptick anyway. And then because of, plans are changing, Punk's been suspended, the Bucks have been suspended, Omega's been suspended, all the talk and the fallout just meant that people were tuning in. You didn't know what was going to happen. I think the quality of the show is not very good at this point. And for me, that might as well just be a straight line going all the way down. Which, if you take out that bump, it is. right? But you could make the argument if you take out that bump, it's a pretty much straight line down all the way from 2021. So here you've got Punk joining, and you see this massive increase in interest when Punk joins. Punk joins there, and we get this massive increase. They move from TNT to TBS. Cody Rhodes' last appearance, but obviously the decline had already set in by then. Then we're pretty flat, to be honest. Vince McMahon resigns here. Then we get the brawl out here. We get a spike in interest, and then it's just a gradual decline. Just down we go. Collision is launched. Doesn't make any difference. Doesn't stop the Rock. Punk is fired. Down we go. Sting retires. Down we go. All in footage is aired. Down we go. I mean, really from there, there's a little, when after Punk's fired, you get a little, oh my God, what's going to happen now? But really from then, it's just down we go. I thought that was really interesting. It does show that 2021, I believe that is a really good year for them. Really good year. But really since then, it's been a gradual decline. Bit of a bump there with the brawl out, of course. But yeah, that's kind of where they are. And the debut was all the way up here. So the debut did 1.4. And then really since then, it's been kind of this range. Very interesting. So the AEW library is going to be moving to Max, right? I've read the information. And basically, it looks like they're getting 185 million a year. Looks like pay-per-views. Looks like Rampage is gone. It's just going to be Dynamite and Collision. Looks like the back catalog goes to Max. Looks like the pay-per-views will be on Max, but they're going to be a discounted price. So you're going to need to subscribe to Max, and then you're going to have to pay extra, but they will be a discounted price. So they want you to go to Max. Apparently on-demand viewing is going to be there for the shows, which I think is going to be a big help for them. 185 looks like a really good number. It secures them for, I believe, the next 5 years is what the deal runs for. And obviously they're still shopping around to see if they can get Shockwave somewhere. So they're looking at selling a third show, Shockwave, and obviously Fox, we believe, could be a landing spot for that. How they're going to juggle 3 shows, don't know. They've just tried to do it and it didn't go very well. But I'm sure that Shockwave will be on a better night. Maybe a Monday night. Maybe up against Raw. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's no real way of spinning this as anything but a good deal. A really good deal for them. It secures their future. And it means that we can look forward to many, many more years of tribalism. Here, just going to end on this from Alexa Bliss. The videos I keep seeing of the damage caused by Hurricane Helene, are heartbreaking. I've not seen anything, to be honest. It does remind me, though, that there was, I wonder if I can search Hogan's Beach Shop. Hogan Beach Shop. I was told about this. And I don't know if it was Hurricane Helene there. This was like on the 27th. I don't know if you've ever been to Clearwater and been to Hogan's Beach Shop, but there is his hangout. I believe that's called Hogan's Hangout, which is on the corner. I believe you go down that road there, down here, and it's like not too far down is where you've then got Hogan's Beach Shop. I've been here quite a few times, actually. I think I've been there about 3 times. And spent like a day around this area, had a nice meal, been to the hangout, been to his shop, been on the beach. So it's bizarre for me to see this. So haven't really been seeing much footage of the storms in America. But I would like to echo what Alexa has just said there. Thoughts and prayers to everyone that's been affected during this time. So, but that's crazy for me to see this picture. And if you've been there, I'm sure it's crazy for you to see as well. So there we go. A long video. I knew there was lots in this one. I didn't realize we'd be knocking on the door of 50 minutes. I know many of you out there enjoy these longer episodes. I really try to keep them 20 minutes. So this is not something that I'm looking to repeat on a regular basis. But listen, if we're going to have a day that's got as much news in it as what this one had, I mean, I don't really have many options other than to cut a load of stuff out, but I like to give you as complete a picture as possible. So thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching Unseen and supporting this video. Don't forget, there's always timestamps, so you can just cut things out if these are a bit too long. But yeah, appreciate the support, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.